Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. It's TPM5 here, back again with another NBA video. And in today's video, I'll be previewing the Miami Heat's offseason, looking at some possible trades, free agency, talk about the draft, although I believe they don't have a draft pick, and yeah, just talk all things Heat for the next 5 minutes. Let's get started. So this season, the Miami Heat opened up the year rather slowly, culminating in a 6-12 start throughout the first 18 games, and they improved to a 500 record, but it was at that 500 record pace until late April when they went on a bit of a winning patch, winning a possible 10 out of 14 games and cementing themselves in the playoffs because there was a patch there where they were in the play-in and they were barely, some people questioning how they would make it, but they did make it in the end. And Jimmy Butler led the way this season with 21.5 points per game, 7 rebounds and 7 assists in a great year for him, but his struggles from the three-point line have held this team back. And another guy that is interesting for them is Bam Adebayo as well. He had another great year and is a really good passer for a center. But I'm just going to take a quick break for this second. I make NBA content 2-3 times a week, and I've been doing these off-season previews daily for like the last 2 weeks. So if you'd like to subscribe and help me out, I'd appreciate it. And let's continue with the video. So as you guys can see, it's the Miami Heat salary cap table. I'm going to have this up for about another 20 seconds, so feel free to pause it. But you have Jimmy Butler through until 2023, given he opts into his 37.6 million player option, which I think he'll be pretty wise to do that when he's 33. Victor Oladipo, a guy they trade for, has an expiring deal, so it'll be interesting to see how or if they bring him back. They made the deal with the knowledge that he would want to return, and I think that the only reason he wouldn't come back would be if the Heat undervalue him and he thinks he's worth more than what he is. But in my opinion, it's likely that he signs a 1 year, probably $14 million deal, and then he can rehab his value a bit and then sign that next contract. But let's continue. We have Goran Dragic, who's 35. He's got a team option, which I think for 19.4 million, which I think the Heat will decline. And the same story for Andre Iguodala, who's 37. I think that team option also gets declined. That'll free up 34.4 million, so they can go out and get another elite guy to add to their core of Butler, Herro, I guess, and also Adebayo. Ariza comes off the books. Bielitsa does as well. They have Bam Adebayo through until 2026, which is a big plus. So they're going to have him for most of his prime, which is good. Tyler Herro until 2023, and then also Precious Achiuwa until 2024. He's shown, he can play an impact in the NBA at times, and Udonis should come back. But an interesting thing was Kendrick Nunn's on 1.5 million, and I think it was a multi-year deal that he signed recently, but like as in a couple years ago before he was like a household name. He was averaging 15 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists as a great scorer off the bench. He's definitely going to be worth more than 1.6 million, so he's pretty likely to leave. And also Duncan Robinson's on the same amount of money, and Duncan Robinson does all that stuff from deep, and without him, a little fun fact for you guys, without him they would be 27th in 3-point rating, but because of him they're 19th, so he's a pretty substantial piece when it comes to that, and it also shows how much they need to improve or sign personnel that can shoot the ball. Now that's it for the salary cap talk. Let's look at some trade rumors and some players that they could get theoretically. Now Kawhi Leonard's always going to be an option for them. It is unlikely that he leaves the Clippers. I think that they did prove enough to him. But they're always, they're going to have the salary cap. They have the culture down there. And I wouldn't count Pat Riley out in any free agency talks. He did it back with a big 3 era, and he did it with Jimmy Butler. But I think that, they probably won't get Kawhi Leonard. I think he's working on something there so he can sign long term with the Clippers for a lot of money. If Damian Lillard was to become available, I think that the Heat do have a good offer when they can put in, Tyler Herro, Precious Achiuwa, and possibly, I think they would put in Adebayo, depending, again, that depends, but they would be able to offer some stuff. But again, it's not something that's likely. It's a bit of a pipe dream. But then the next one I'll talk about, which is Kyle Lowry, is a bit more likely. I think they would have the assets to make a sign trade happen. Now, whether that's sending Herro and sending Herro there, I'm not too sure. But I think that Kyle Lowry is a bit more of an accurate and realistic option. So I think that those are a couple unrealistic guys. But then you have Kyle Lowry, who could be someone they bring in, that kind of veteran that fits the Jimmy Butler timeline. But that's that. I think that Tyler Herro is going to be an interesting piece of trade bait for the team. I think that he had a bit of a down year, like down year, but I mean, it's just there wasn't that same hype around him, and I know what he did in the playoffs was really good last year. And that's where most of the hype came from. But for Bleacher Report to list him as the most likely to be traded on the team, it does mean something. Now, obviously, it's Bleacher Report, so you have to be careful with that and don't take it too seriously. But they obviously have intel and experts that know stuff. Now that's it for the video, guys. If you have any Heat fans, please comment, tell me what you think and what your team needs to do this off season. Otherwise, please like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.